Good afternoon and welcome to Thursday's edition of The Buzz, your social media program on television. It's exciting as always to be on the program. Today is Thursday, the 16th of May 2019. My name is Patience Bello Kafo, your regular anchor on the program. And of course, I have a full table this afternoon as we will be discussing stories bordering on relationships, stories trending on social media as it were. It's a pleasure to welcome back on the program Pastor Dolly, who is a minister of God and author, a gospel artist, also a counselor. Good afternoon, Pastor Dolly.
Good afternoon, Patience.
Nice to have you here.
Nice to be here.
Do I need to say you're looking really good?
Oh my God, thank you.
Looking good is good business, like you say.
Yeah.
But if you look good, you feel good.
Yeah.
All right, welcome again to the show. Also joining us at the table this afternoon, Mr. Mustafa Wela is here. He's a real estate expert. He's a life coach. He's a politician in the making. He's also a television personality. He's a presenter in his own right. Good afternoon, Mr. Wela.
Good afternoon, Patience. Good to have me today. In fact, I can see that you've given many accolades already, but it's okay. We're just trying our bit to, contribute our quota to society. So,
Welcome to the show. I know we're still in the month of Ramadan.
Yes,
Shawel
of course, of
Okay.
course.
All right. Welcome to the show. Also joining us at the table, the indefatigable Apostle Helen Daniel is here. She's also a minister, obviously. She's a counselor, and she's also a very passionate women empowerment enthusiast and activist. And she's here this afternoon. Good afternoon, Apostle Daniel.
Afternoon. Thank you so much for having me. So good to be here.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, he just scuttled into the studio. Mr. Shoebi Samson, he's behind the camera. He'll be here in a bit. All right, I'll introduce him properly when he takes a seat at the table. Also, I'd like to welcome our esteemed viewers. You are always a part of this show, and you know you can interact with us using the number 08028368971. Welcome to the show. All right, it looks like if we go by census, the women at the table are outnumbering the men. So let me say this.
Now.
Yes, let me say this. Anyways, Sunday was Mother's Day again, and of course, social media went agog with different messages and all of that. So I deliberately, left the Mother's Day greetings to today because I know we have more women.
But how many Mother's Days do we celebrate?
Oh, that is very irrelevant.
I think
we
we've
can
had
celebrate
lots of
mothers
Mother's
every
Days.
day.
How many Father's Days do
We
we
deserve it. Every day we deserve it. Yes,
Honestly,
it's very
honestly.
relevant. Next
we
month
can't
we'll
even
have another Mother's Day.
That's
It's in
right.
order.
We can't even have it.
So happy Mother's Day to everyone.
Same to
you.
you,
Thank you very
darling.
much.
Same
Same to you. You're
Thank
also
you.
a mother.
Thank
And
you.
to every mother out there, happy Mother's Day to you.
And even the mother to be,
Yeah.
because every woman deserves to be a mother. So
That's
happy
right.
Mother's Day to all of you out there. Believing God that sometime, some days, some years, you will be a mother.
Yeah.
You will have your own children to behold, because the Bible says your children shall surround your table, and it will come to pass in your life.
Amen. Thank you.
And I want to quickly chip in this. You don't have to have your own biological child
That's
to
right.
be a
That's what I'm
mother.
saying.
You are a mother as a woman, so long
Yes,
as you have
yes.
children or people that you care for,
That you nurture.
that you
Yes,
nurture, that
yes.
you raise, that
That's-
you help to be better
That is very
persons in the
true.
society.
That's right.
You are a mother.
That is very true.
So let me also say that happy Mother's Day to every mother.
Thank
Yes,
you.
every
But
mother.
for me, particularly to the single mothers who
Yes.
don't have husbands,
Yes.
who
Right.
struggle day in, day out to take care of, even if it's one child, I tell you it's not easy. So particularly I'm sending my heart, my greetings to them, particularly
Yes.
the single mothers who don't have responsible husbands to take care of their children.
Yes.
Those who are married but living single.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Wela, for that.
It's not easy.
A lot of a lot of people. Society needs to begin to understand that a lot of single mothers are single mothers by sometimes by no fault of theirs.
Yeah.
Some women have been, you know, made to embrace that role, and you know they deserve all the accolade. Like
and apart from that, the widows are single mothers as well. You can see, because it's not their choice; they just happen to, you know, things happen to them, and all of a sudden they become a single mother. So they are also single mothers. Our heart goes to them as well.
All right. So since we're starting the program on that note, let's quickly go and take this music piece. Celebrating womanhood, celebrating motherhood, is by Oba, and this one is titled Mokwe Lola. That will usher us into the program properly today. We'll be back after this quick break. Do join us again. Apologies. I don't know why that music has refused to play, but you know, this is Africa, and I know we have men in the control room. So because that music is for women, you have not allowed it to play. No problem. It's
I'm sure it wasn't deliberate.
It wasn't deliberate. All right. While we took that break, Mr. Soyebi Samson, who is a builder by profession, he's also a chartered economist, has joined us on the show. Good afternoon, Mr. Soyebi.
Good afternoon.
Great to have you on the Thursday's edition of the show.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay. And you want to experience it? Okay. All right. All right. So welcome again, everybody. 0802-836-8971 is the number to use. And for SMS only, we go straight into our program for today. Of course, a teaser first before we take the main story. King of Swaziland orders countrymen to marry 5 wives or go to jail. The King of Swaziland, King Mswati III, has made a declaration in the country that from June, men will be required to marry at least 5 wives or go to jail. The king also assured that the men that government would pay for the marriage ceremonies and buy houses for them. Here's the deal, according to him. Marry at least 5 wives and you're assured that the government will pay for the marriage ceremonies and buy houses for them. End of quote. King Mswati warned that any man or woman who opposes the decision will face a life sentence. The order, according to iHarare, a newspaper, is to ensure every woman gets a husband, as it is believed that men taking more wives will help women get husbands. Reports say that the decision also came following the increasing number of virgins and scarcity of men in the country. Now, King Mswati himself has 15 wives, 25 children, while his father and predecessor had more than 70 wives and 150 children. Now, there's a disclaimer to this story. King Mswati of Swaziland has denied that he ordered men in his country to marry more than 1 wife or face imprisonment. According to a statement issued by the government, they say the issue was never discussed. Okay? I think a particular newspaper, Zambia Overseer, ran with a story or misquoted the king or whatever. But whether or not it is on the news, yes. So, but you know, earlier this week, we discussed this at the table as part of a trending news that Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta has signed into law a controversial marriage bill legalizing polygamy. And according to the bill, men in Kenya are now allowed to take many wives without consulting their existing spouses. All right, so I mean, there's a connecting point in this. It looks like Africa is beginning to toe You know, in a legal manner now. All right, so that is the new thing to it. Polygamy has always been like an African thing anyway. But let's react to this story. Who's going first?
I think I can go
first.
Ahead. Because I, like I always say, I don't know when Africa will wake up. Because the other part of the world, they are thinking of how to move forward, how to be technologically advanced and do something really tangible with technology, you understand, that would better the lot of their society. Here we are talking about how many wives somebody should marry. It doesn't really make sense as far as I'm concerned. I think by now we should have outgrown this. What our leaders, our presidents, our presidents of nations in Africa should be talking about, it should be how to be technologically advanced. Because the other part of the world have left us so much behind. If you see what is happening in Africa, like in Libya now, slave market and all that is happening, even here in South Africa, we see the way South Africans are killing fellow Africans. Because their country is not good enough for them. That's why they run to South Africa. And here we are, kings, because that's what Swaziland we're talking about, is in Southern Africa.
Yeah.
And so for us at this point to be talking about how many wives somebody should marry, for me, I don't think it is acceptable. I feel they're going beyond boundary.
Okay.
That's the way I see it.
Okay, now, the honest truth is, I might differ a bit. And it's because I know that for every country there are peculiar situations that come up. And sometimes when those situations
and certain laws are enacted based on those peculiarities.
Current trends of what is going on in that country. A country like Swaziland, I'm sure that currently they are facing a lot of issues when it comes to marriages. Maybe they have shortage of men.
They do.
And they are trying to strike a balance such that many women won't go unmarried. I'm just saying, maybe that's the reason why that law is coming into play. That's why, if it's confirmed that the king said that, it might be that for the king to have 17 wives, 15 wives, he's trying to lead by example. So when he's trying to salvage a situation, now a country like Kenya too, of course, Kenya is a population of 49 million, and I know that they have more women than men. Of course, such things too cannot totally be out of place. When leaders of a certain country see that certain calamities is about to befall them, particularly when it comes to marriage, men, women issues, they try to
issues of population.
They try to strike a balance. So one side, so it won't be one-sided, because as it is in Nigeria, I think we have had that discussion here before. I don't know if you have more women than men, but I think we have more women than men.
We have more women. So can we also enact a law that says one woman can marry more than one man? Because of the kind of peculiarity we have in Nigeria.
We have more women.
That's what I'm saying.
No, more men.
No,
more men.
More women in Nigeria.
We have more women.
Yes.
We have more women. So we have shortage of men too.
Men, yeah.
At the same time, but you know, I just hope that whatever decisions they take in those countries, it goes to benefit the country as a whole.
The people of that
country, so they can get by it. But by and large,
what if those kind of decisions sort of like alters or distorts the world order? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
What about if those women end up producing just women? What happens?
So we have more women.
So it does not something.
All right, let's hear Pastor Daniel.
For me, I look at it as initiative to empower. That is the way, the angle I want to come in here. I look at it as an initiative to empower the women. You understand? But it should not be a law. You don't force. It should be optional. We are even practicing it in Africa anyways. Before you say it's going to be a law, you don't force people in things like that, because they can bring in these women and suffer them. Apart from what is house, you give somebody, is that all that is about getting married? Marriage is not about getting a house or getting material things. Marriage is supposed to be enjoyed. Will this man be able to the happiness, give all the 5 women that happiness that they need, I think it should be optional. It shouldn't be by force. You have put a law. If you don't do it, there is a punishment.
Apostle Daniel, let me throw this at you. You are a minister of God. There is that part of the Bible that talks about the end times. 7 women will be begging one man to get married. So do you think we are approaching that?
That is what I'm saying, because every word that is in the Bible will surely come to pass. Okay. You don't need to force. Allow time to take its course. Do you understand?
So we're getting there.
The Bible said that they will go to the man. He said, let me just answer a name for you. It's not about you now saying, I want to force you, I must enact the law. No, the law is there. God's law is a natural law. It will surely come to pass.
Okay, all right, Mr. Shoibi.
For me, the question of marriage, I want to pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 100 wives, is a function of choice and capacity. What you have capacity to manage over time.
Yes.
The issue of marriage also affects our lifestyle, our productivity, balance mentally. Even in the developed society, in the US, there are gay laws. These are laws that were put in place to also manage relationship, freedom of expression, and belonging. You know, so I wouldn't totally say that enacting that effect. Now, enacting that law might actually put some level of flesh to that understanding, because yes, as Africans, women naturally do not want attachments.
Yes.
You know, but when there is a law giving liberal, freedom to men to so automatically the women who might want to have no choice. Yeah, so that might be the reason and from which the need for that law to be enacted.
And the last time I checked, Swaziland has a population of 1.3 or 1.4 million people. So now maybe we are looking at 1 million women and maybe 300 men. So they're trying to solve a problem.
So, and I also learned that Swaziland actually has a huge number of virgins.
Virgins,
yes,
an abundance. I don't know. Do Nigerian men know that?
But the men there should sit as a form of enjoyment. But one man like 10 wives.
They do not want these women who are already of marriageable age to begin to go into gayism or lesbianism. The option might be to say, okay, let men begin to marry as much as
many
so they can solve the problem.
But the king is even saying that he didn't say it, so we cannot hold it to the king.
There's no smoke without fire. So for that news to have even come up at all, they should have maybe said something.
Some insinuation.
And if there's no example to have 15 wives.
Obviously, if you look at let's not even talk about Swaziland now, let's even come to Nigeria. Are we looking at already the society is tending towards that already? There are a lot of baby mamas in our society today.
Yes.
Single women who were never married, with a child, without a child, that are already of marriageable age. Some of them are over 30, some are already approaching 40, some are over 40. You'll be shocked at the number of lawyers.
There are no men available.
Lawyers.
Not because they don't want to get married.
I want to hear this view because it's a very
do you understand? Point. So we must begin to look at how relationship, balancing the equation, affects our society. A lady who is at peace, personally, she has somebody that cuddles with her, she has somebody she's talking to. It's not just about management. Somebody to relate with per time is key. Our productivity naturally increases.
Of course.
And also mannerisms.
You understand?
And all that. Okay, so I will now say that women, we should become more open-minded, where issues of having a partner,
relationship,
marriage, is concerned.
Okay.
Are we getting to that?
There was a time I think it was in Kano, either Kano or Kaduna, that there was a protest that women actually went to the governor and were protesting that they couldn't find men. There was nobody to marry them, and there were a huge number of them. Already is a problem. We must begin to look at accommodating. I think I was talking to someone who said his granddad actually married, I think, about 17 wives. And then there was nothing like gayism. There was nothing like lesbianism. You can see that these issues are becoming increasing per time. Every day, there are more lesbians now, especially among these young ones. And who are the people who are patronizing them? More mature women.
But we need to understand that sexual pervasiveness or where issues of sexual preferences, it's a totally different thing. But to, you know...
So this marriage...
Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, but it is connected in the sense that... It is connected in the sense that when women don't find men to marry, and of course,
they look for alternatives.
They look for alternatives that is available. When the desirable is not available, then the
available
becomes desirable. And that's why, that's the fundamental root of, for me, lesbianism. When there's shortage of men and there's nothing they can really do about it, then they begin to improvise. So we need to look at it.
You don't agree?
I don't agree with that at all.
Yes,
because people who want, I don't like it when we make excuses for doing the wrong thing. People who wants to be lesbian, they will be. Who wants to be gay, they will be. There are even married men that still does, you know, with men. So it's not about not having somebody to do it with. It's just that their mind has been perverted to think that they can do that to satisfy themselves. I am a firm believer. To everyone, every woman, there is a husband out there. That's the truth. If we don't think of always looking for a way out of a problem.
Quick fix.
And I don't believe in that.
Okay. All right. I asked the question earlier, Pastor Daniel, should women now be more open-minded and accepting of their husbands taking more than one wife?
It's really very, very difficult.
It is.
It's difficult when it comes to women accepting and if example abound. Woman naturally is a jealous being. It is in us. Even me, as I'm sitting down, even though I'm a pastor, I have that instinct of jealousy in me, seeing my husband with another woman. So I don't think that suggesting that one here will change anything. It cannot change because that is how we have been created, that we should be jealous. It is in us. Do you understand? So trying to change it now is going to be difficult.
Wow. Okay. This issue is a big one. I hope this kind of reveal never makes it to our National Assembly or anywhere. You understand?
Yeah.
I will join the protest. All right, let's move on to our first main topic of the day. Should cheating be a deal breaker? This is a Twitter story. A Nigerian Twitter user has shared a controversial thread explaining why cheating shouldn't be a deal breaker in a relationship. According to him, I quote, "In fact, it should be embraced by both parties. So if you love your partner, don't cage them. Love them freely and give them an avenue to express." End of quote. I really don't understand why a chick would leave a guy because he cheated. Like why? There are certain vices that are synonymous with guys and chicks. There are certain vices that are synonymous with guys and chicks just don't get it. I'll admit it, it hits differently when the chick cheats though, but again, why leave because he cheated? I seriously feel cheating shouldn't be a deal breaker. In fact, it should be embraced by both parties. So if you love your partner, don't cage them, love them freely, and give them an avenue to express themselves. I read it from a relationship expert some time ago that cheating sometimes can actually revamp the fire in a marriage. Does anybody agree with that?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
All right.
I don't think so.
Okay, so let's communicate. All right, before we comment on this particular topic, let's quickly go for a commercial break. We'll come back and discuss. Join us again.
There's a smarter way to live with Airtel Binge Plan, the ideal data plan for those heavy data moments. Get a 2 GB daily binge plan for 500 Naira. Dial *141# to activate. Live smarter with data.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
to the show. 0802-836-8971 is still the number to use. Should cheating be a deal breaker in a relationship? Let's start from that end of the table this time around. Mr. Shrevi.
This is a tough call.
Yeah.
I'm sure my wife is watching and she's expecting a response.
Yes.
Okay, I must say that there's a difference between when you love a woman or you love a man and you actually cheat. I think what sustains a relationship is actually commitment, dedication, love for the partner. Cheating can come along the way. Ability to forgive and move on must be key from the onset. You know, if you cannot forgive that partner and move beyond that part and see that this person, I just love this person. When you are loving, marriage love is different from relationship love. Now, marital love is like this person has both the good, the positives, and the negatives, and you are willing to accommodate this person. Everything.
Okay.
In between that negative, ability to cheat is there. Lie, do a lot of other things. Being able to accommodate is what brings you and keeps your marriage intact. So for me, cheating should not be a deal breaker, except it has been aligned from the onset that I will never ever cheat on you. Except that you are giving commitment, verbal, commitment, and say never this will. If it happens, let's break up. Okay. Except that if that has not been in place, I don't think the person who is cheating today, people mature, people grow. A lot of things change with people. If he's cheating today, tomorrow you might be shocked that that person is a pastor and you no longer doing it. So if you had left him because he was cheating, and when you now saw him, that's not a better person.
Yeah. I really concur with what you're saying. I am a pastor, though I do not encourage a couple to cheat, but then as human being is there. Whether you like it or not, cheating is there. Men cheat, and sometimes women cheat as well. You understand? But the ability for you to forgive each other, you really need to forgive, because marriage is for better or for worse. I'm not talking about when you are being battered, a man battering a woman, and they say stay there. But when it comes to cheating, it's an error. It's an error. You can forgive. Yeah.
Is there a level of cheating that cannot be forgiven?
I don't think there is any level of cheating that should not be forgiven, because in a relationship you are talking about love. You love the man. If you love the man, you will forgive him. If the man loves the woman, you will forgive the woman. But in most cases, I know men, they don't forgive a woman that cheats. That is the issue that we have here. The women are always, ready to forgive, but the men will not take it at all. But when you know that you cheat, the things that you do, and somebody forgives you, you should be able to forgive. That is my own point here. And again, cheating should not be allowed. And that is why the Bible said that you should control what is in you, and don't allow what is in you to control you. If we should have self-discipline, you will not cheat, because there is nothing you're looking for. It's the same thing. I have heard it time and time again that it is the same thing. What are you looking for that is not in your wife? You get me? Once you have made a commitment to get married, you should stay married. Be focused on your wife. Whatever you want to see in your wife, you should be able to bring her up to that standard.
All right,
you get me?
This person on social media is saying cheating should actually be embraced by both parties.
It shouldn't be.
There is an English saying, when you love something, you set it free.
You don't. It doesn't apply here in marriage situation, because there is a lot of things that will come in when you are free like that. You can have an unwanted pregnancy, a child that you did not even plan for. You can even have disease. There is a lot now in town. So what happens if you bring in that type of disease like AIDS, like those things that it can't be cured? What do you do? So cheating should not be opened. It's not allowed. We shouldn't accept it. Right. Control yourself. Self-discipline is the way to go.
I have a feeling I already know what you're going to say, but let's just hear it. Okay.
This is really a very tough one. I'm going to come from two angles. The honest truth, naturally, by the laws of marriage, from religious angle now, cheating should be a deal breaker. I'm going to come from two angles. It should be a deal breaker. Okay. Because for a woman to, for you, a man or a woman to agree that they want to come together as one, you see, because people do things doesn't make us legalize it or accept it. For two people to come together and say, I love you, you love me, let's marry each other and become one, at that point, they've made a final decision that they are sticking together no matter what the situation is, for better, for worse. Everything you are going to look for outside, you should ensure that, or assume that this is my last bus stop. Because if we go into the side effect of cheating, there's a lot of menace that comes from cheating. There's a lot of danger you can bring into your family. A woman who goes outside, because I'm a man now, let me take an example as a woman. A woman who goes outside to cheat with somebody who is infected with some kind of disease, and you bring that into your family, you are putting your family at a very high risk of a lot of dangers. But then, because we know that marriage is for better, for worse, and in that worse, a lot of things comes into that, the worst aspect of it, which Sam has said, cheating naturally would be in anything.
Should be discouraged.
Anything can be within that context of worse.
Yeah.
But I would say that in any way, in any platform, cheating should be discouraged. Yes. For me, cheating has even caused more harm than more good, from experience.
Okay.
That's the honest truth. So, my couples should see themselves as one. Don't embrace cheating in any way, because if you are giving room for, oh, my partner can cheat, let me forgive him, because it won't lead well. It won't lead.
Pastor Dolly, let's hear your view.
I think I agree totally with Wela, because a lot of, we are in Africa now. Let us look at the African setting of it. You know, sometimes when, let's say, for a man wants to cheat on the wife with another girl outside, in his own mind, he just want to have a one-off thing and go back home. But the girl outside want to have a husband. So she can go to any length to want to remove the one in the home so that it can come in.
It can even kill.
And it can even kill. And for that to happen, both the man and the woman that is cheated on, they are going to be at the receiving end of what that one outside there wants to do. The children in the home, they are going to face the consequence of what that one-off thing that their father went outside to do. So I think it's not a good thing, so to say, and we should, in every way we can, condemn it, speak against it. It shouldn't be. Cheating is wrong. What is wrong is wrong. We cannot say because, okay, we are in Africa, we should allow things to be because we want to forgive, or because you know that your wife will forgive or your husband will forgive. You keep doing it. I have a case of a woman that the man, she had a man outside. She gave the husband's telephone number to the man to call the husband, to tell her husband, leave your wife for me, because I'm the new lover to her in town, and I want to marry her. Does that sound really, you understand? Of course, because the man has been forgiving her. And she takes it a little bit further. I don't think it is right. What is wrong is wrong. Cheating is wrong. It's wrong.
That is where self-discipline comes in.
Exactly.
Okay, let's see how our viewers are reacting. Maureen from Abia State says, yes, it should be a deal breaker because cheating brings distrust that will always make one look over his or her shoulder all the time, believing it will happen again. And yes, there's a level of cheating that can't be forgiven. It's a man's world, so they get away with it and feel it's the norm. And the woman shouldn't let it break her home. But what about contacting STDs, endangering your partner's life? What about the emotional pain? All right, this one says, sometimes I don't really understand. Okay, all right. I get what you're saying. This one is asking, but if the guy be cheating all the time and he says sorry and you forgive him, but he continues doing it again and again, what do you do?
Exactly my point. You can't encourage what is bad.
All right, this one says cheating can break a relationship because I can't even see my partner cheating on me. Femi from Kaba in Kogi State sent that one in. In Nigeria, we have more men than women. Please check the last census statistics by Alhaji Shehu Makama. For the Southern African nations, there is nothing to worry about. They can strike a balance by exporting the women who cannot find husbands. It will be it will be dangerous to force men to marry more than they can handle. Not all men who live with women at home are husbands. Some are just dog bands. Don from Ikeja sends that one in.
Dog band, that's a new one.
Dog band.
Okay. All right. This other one is not really clear to me. Okay, let's continue. We'll come back to the feedback platforms. All right. So I think half the table agrees it should be a deal breaker, like instantaneous. Then the other half is saying forgiveness should play a role in it, but then embracing it as, you know, like an acceptable thing.
Why I said we should forgive, because to keep the marriage together, you understand. I remember one of my, should I say friends or a sister, came into my house and he saw the way I'm living with my husband, and he said, I like you and your husband, the way you're living. But I told her, behind what you are lacking now, there were so many hurdles that we have to cross. So don't tell anybody I left your marriage until he tells you her story or his story. You understand? So what he's gone through, you understand? A lot of marriages have been down. They've separated. I would have stayed, you know, because the latter part of the marriage is always the time to enjoy. When you are just beginning marriage, you know, two different people coming together and they say you're husband and wife. I want to study you, you're studying me. A lot of mistakes are there. You understand? But if you don't stay put and try to, you know, see how you can make it work, because a lot of marriages that have been separated would have been the best marriage. You understand me now? So you stay there, forgive. There is nothing we cannot forgive. The Bible says, let us forgive 70 times 70, isn't it? And I know forgiveness is in Quran as well.
Yes, of course.
Yes, you forgive. There is no cheating that you cannot forgive. If you love somebody, he said, if you love me, you keep my commandment. That doesn't mean that I'm encouraging people to cheat. Cheating by any standard at all is not acceptable. But sometimes you discover that you cannot discipline yourself. You can't hold your, especially the men. I'm not talking about less women cheat. Most women don't cheat. But I know 95% of men, married men cheat. Let us be very 95 years.
I think that figure should go up to like 98.
You see, they cheat. So it's in them.
But
It's in
95 is a
them.
huge number.
Yeah, 95. It's even saying 98. They cheat. Excuse me first.
Because the
98.99
These days, I don't know. They have not come up with their own ratio. But men cheat. So if you said you want to marry a man that will not cheat, then you are deceiving yourself.
Okay. Cheating or not, it's actually a lifestyle. This lifestyle doesn't start at the point of marriage.
Exactly.
From, at the point in your life. And at the point where you are courting, you must have met this person. This person, at the time you are courting with him, you were maybe the third girlfriend. Now you are married.
Love is blind.
This man has embraced this lifestyle.
Long before.
So you married him. That's why I said that. Cheating, being embraced.
You married him even when you knew you were girlfriend number 3. Okay.
Now you are married.
Or even when you are married,
And you are saying that
wife number 10.
This is this
Oh my
person.
goodness.
This is who this is his love. That's why you cannot separate the influence of God in marriage.
Yes.
What makes every marriage work is the impact of God in it. Now, when you are married, you can now drag that you begin to warm up to God and expect that the miracle will happen and this man will be a changed man. You are looking forward to him being a changed man.
You can change
You cannot
man.
forcefully change him because that's like always in his life now.
Yes.
He's a cheat, he's a
That
cheat.
is
You're
what
not
I'm
a cheat.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we must understand, we
Shocking
shouldn't,
reality.
honestly, we
Yeah.
must understand how this thing play out. When you now say, this person is a cheat, he came into the marriage, he promised me, this man is already a cheat. He cannot change his life.
But what about a man that is married to 5 wives? Perhaps that person is number 3. If he did not cheat, will he have gotten it? Okay. You're coming in here and you said he should not cheat. No, you continue to cheat.
All right, somebody here is actually asking, between cheating and divorce, which one is better?
Of course, cheating leads to divorce now. So
not in all cases anyway.
Not in all cases.
Most cheating sometimes leads to divorce because particularly when a lady can't stand a cheating husband, of course, and she feels that her life is being threatened by the other woman. Of course, she has to go. But of course, cheating and divorce, none of them is good. But I think that's a very
okay. We have to move on to our next topic, but let's see a few more reactions. Undagana Jr. says, those who cheat belong to devil family. Cheaters have nothing to give than disappointment. What is not good is not good. God bless Nigerians. God bless you too, Ndagana. Thank you for that. This one says, if you forgive him or her the first time, it creates room for cheating the second time. If you forgive the person the second time, it becomes an habit. Olamide.
And the very tricky thing about cheating patience is that some men take care of their wife 100%. They love her, they share it, but they still cheat. Yes. So that's why such women will not want to leave that marriage, even if she finds the husband cheating. Because she feels that, so I will not leave all these things. Now you know, making kill himself outside, just be taking care of me.
Yes.
That's a common marriage we have in Nigeria now.
In Africa.
Because you said 25% of men cheat. I would even say, I'm a man, but I would say 97% are
98.9.
But it's sad. I hope that we men can change.
Amen.
I don't cheat on my wife because I love her so dearly. Hallelujah. And I respect that. In fact, even the thought of that alone can make my wife go gaga if she eats. So it's crazy. So it has even led more women into depression because they have to battle with
very true
a cheating husband.
Very true.
Yes, but they can't leave because they are caught in between. But he's taking care of me and the kids. Where do I start my life from?
Okay. Omolara from Ayobo in Ekpaja says cheating can be a breaker. Because no spouse will encourage that. No matter how holy someone is, someone can be. If you hear your partner is having affairs outside, you won't be happy. Women forgive easily, while men find it so difficult to forgive in terms of adultery. Men cannot forgive such. And she went further to say, to divorce is better than cheating. This is a natural phenomenon where the woman denies her husband most of the time. What happens? Ade from Okitipupa is asking, I don't know what happens. Why do people always think it's only the women who deny the men? Men too do deny women.
I cannot even deny. I have denied my wife 1 or 2 times at the point when I was too tired. But then she has also denied me too. But
when she's too tired too, yeah.
So women have to understand that, okay, I'm tired. Okay, sorry, next some other time.
Yeah.
And she has also understood me that, oh, he's tired some other time. But then so.
But you strike a balance.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, all right, let's move on to the second topic because of time. When does the woman rightfully become yours? Now we're pushing forward this question because a Nigerian man actually went on social media to rant. And according to him, this is what he wrote, I quote verbatim. To the young man who called me 35 minutes ago, rudely asking me what my number was doing on his girlfriend's phone, I only have one thing to say to you. Until you put a ring on her finger, we are all shareholders. What you should be worrying about is whether you are majority or a minority. So until you put a ring on it, we are all shareholders. When exactly does a woman actually become a man's own?
Of course, when you pay a bride price, when you marry her,
when you put a ring on it.
When you put a ring on it, that's the honest truth. Okay. So I mean, that seals it up. You know, because the honest truth is so many girls now, some ladies have more than one boyfriend, that's the honest truth. Just the same way some men have more than one girlfriend. But of course, the end result is who do you eventually get married to and tighten up with the traditional way.
So where is the place of loyalty in relationships?
Well, that's the question.
I want to go a bit further than where you ended.
Okay.
I agree with you. But where you actually own a woman, it doesn't really end at the point where you have put ring on her finger.
Okay.
It's when you have consistently played your role as a husband to that woman. Exactly. There are a lot of women who are married who still do not belong to their husband.
Can you break that down so that people can understand? I know what you're trying to say.
What I'm trying to say is that ownership is actually when roles are being consistently played. The man is playing consistent, loves the woman, plays the father role on the children, takes care of the woman, provides for them,
does what he's supposed to do.
The family is loving. The moment you begin to lose these responsibilities, you don't play this responsibility honestly.
Then you lose ownership.
You consistently lose, gradually lose ownership of that woman. Women don't talk much, but they know where they belong. They know where they stand per time. You don't stand.
We know which side our bread is buttered.
Do you understand? So they might not talk, but they know if they are still with you, they are still with you. Even if you don't do anything for them, they love you. They love you. You know. But yes, literally, we can say yes, when you have married someone, you have paid the bride price.
It becomes yours.
But you must go beyond that. Don't say because you have married that you paid the bride price. It doesn't end there.
Well said, Mr. Shoibi. All right, who else wants to jump in?
Yes, there is this saying that I heard sometime that a man and their wife, they went for an occasion. It was an empowerment occasion. So they called all the single mothers, all the widows and all this, come out and receive something. And this woman came with the husband. Eventually, she's married and the husband is alive. She now went out. And the husband said, sit down, didn't you hear they say widows? Where are you going? He dragged the woman back. The woman stood up again. And the third time, the woman said, let me go. Is this life? Are you alive? Are you a husband? Let me go and collect. So that is what you're saying. Until you take responsibility, it's not just because you are married. Oh, I'm a married man. A lot of women are suffering in silence, just like what you're saying. So you cannot say you own that woman or you own the children even when you cannot play your role as a man. What is a man? A man is a person that can take responsibility. When God created men, he said, you are the head of the family. Well, what is the head if the head cannot even carry anything? You understand me now? So you cannot claim ownership for something you don't take responsibility on. That is what I can say here.
So you're just a shareholder?
You are a shareholder.
I want to narrow it down to the context that which we are talking here right now. Because the guy called the man for seeing the man's telephone number in the girlfriend's phone. I want to say that the woman is not a property. She's not like something that does not really have value, that anyone can just... A furniture that someone can say is my own, this one will say is not my own. I think the one who owns the knife, there is the woman. She is the one who is to decide who she's for. Yes, I want to say, I will keep saying this here, whatsoever is not good is not good, no matter how we color it. Even as much as I believe in what they've said, that, okay, you marry a woman, you keep dressing her, you keep making her look like the way you saw her that made you fall in love with her. I'm a firm believer in that. But that does not give the woman to the room to say, okay, because he's not doing what he has to do, I have to be a public woman. Why should a woman be a public woman? Because for that man to say that until you put the ring on her hand, we are all shareholders. For me, you can't be a shareholder in me. A woman should not put herself in a position where every man in town should be a shareholder in her. That doesn't respect her. That statement is not a statement of respect for the woman. He has not disrespected the man, but that woman by such statement. And women shouldn't put themselves in a position where they can be so disrespected.
Wow. Okay, all right. I like the diverse views, the diverse opinion. Mr. Mustafa, quickly.
I think our fellow panelists have been, everybody has hit the nail on the head. Like she said, the lady knows who she truly belongs to, of course. But then, for you to completely claim ownership of anything, like Sam has said too, you need to constantly and continuously play that role of the head that you're supposed to be in the first place. Even if you cease to do those things, because sometimes things change one of a sudden. That doesn't make the woman suddenly become a public property too. You should understand that it is a phase, and this also will pass by. So for me, I'm very, very, because these are very sensitive matters that have borders on relationship, and one has to be very careful with what you dish out.
But the Bible said that a man should be satisfied with a woman of his youth.
So
which means when you are married, properly married, you belong to the man. You belong to somebody.
Yeah.
You get me now? So we cannot say that it is only the woman that knows where he belongs to. Yeah. You have agreed to marry somebody. Yeah, exactly. So you belong to that person until
I was talking in context that which we're discussing, because this girl is not yet married to this man. She's probably dating both of them together. She's the one that she's going to withdraw herself and decide, this is what I want. This is who I want. She cannot be a public woman, public wife. It's not good for a woman to be a public wife. For this man to come and say, we are all shareholder in a woman. For me, it's disrespectful to that woman.
Man that said it was
it's the man. It's the man.
No, it's the lady.
It's the lady. It's the man.
Time is never our friend on this program. But I'd like to conclude today's discourse with this message that came in from Okitipupa Ade. It is not true that the woman is his when he puts a ring on her finger. Ownership belongs to the person that enjoys the economic benefit in the woman. That is, a Calabar man left the wife in his hometown for years. He was celebrating in Ondo here last year that his wife put to bed, even without having anything to do with her for years. I think if you know, you know. Thank you everyone for coming out. Thank you, Pastor Dolly.
Thank you.
Many thanks. Apostle Daniel.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shoebe.
It's a pleasure.
And thank you, viewers, for all your apt contributions. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, with another juicy edition. Do join us then. Bye for now.